Welcome to this explainer. Today we're taking a massive array of sourced organic farming techniques and breaking them down into a totally actionable toolkit to protect your garden. I mean, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by pests just wrecking your hard work, you are absolutely in the right place. We're basically taking years of agricultural wisdom and turning it into a clear, easy-to-use guide. Let's get right into it.
You've fallen victim to a brassica massacre, leaving plants skeletal shadows of their former selves. Wow, that dramatic quote from our sources perfectly captures the high stakes here, right? It's literally a heart-sinking feeling to walk outside and see your beautiful plants stripped completely down to their midribs. But hey, don't throw in the towel just yet, because we've got the solutions.
So here's our layered defense strategy for today. 1. The Organic Pest Control Challenge. 2. Building a balanced garden ecosystem. 3. Physical defenses and clever traps. 4. The homemade organic spray arsenal. And 5. Fighting fungi and boosting health.
All right, starting with part 1, the Organic Pest Control Challenge, understanding the battle for the garden. The truth is, organic farming isn't just about letting bugs eat your crops in the name of nature. But, it's also not about chemically scorching the earth. It's really about outsmarting the pests strategically.
So organic pest control is fundamentally a layered defense-in-depth strategy, not some chemical free-for-all. We've got to construct escalating barriers of defense. Think of your garden like a literal fortress. We don't just have one single wall, right? You have a moat, a perimeter, guards, the whole shebang. We're building this defense in depth to protect our crops safely and naturally, and we only step up our response when it's absolutely necessary.
Moving to Section 2, building a balanced garden ecosystem. Prevention as the first layer. Let's look at how this builds a really strong, confusing perimeter for pests before they even have a chance to reach your precious crops. Because at this stage, it's all about prevention.
Okay, so simply planting aromatic herbs. We're talking mint, marigolds, thyme, parsley, dill, basil, and cilantro totally masks the scent of your vegetables. By planting these cheek by jowl in a sort of higgledy-piggledy tapestry, you make it incredibly hard for pests to hone in on their target. Plus, you're simultaneously attracting hungry predators like ladybugs, and they absolutely love to feast on aphids.
Now check out this incredibly clever, totally counterintuitive technique, the trap crop. Get this, you actually intentionally invite pests right into your garden. Yeah, by planting a delicious, fleshy, sacrificial crop like nasturtiums or collards near your main harvest, the cabbage worms will flock to that instead. And once that trap crop is completely infested, you simply pull the whole thing out, pests and all, and destroy it. Brilliant, right?
The goal here is matching specific pest threats with natural countermeasures. Nematodes get marigolds, aphids get ladybugs. By doing this, you create a beautifully self-regulating ecosystem. Take the cabbage root maggot, for example. A simple slit piece of cardboard or even some old carpet slipped right around the base of the plant physically stops the female fly from laying her eggs in the soil. It's completely free, and it's a highly effective barrier.
But let's be real for a second. What if your plants still face a relentless infestation despite these natural barriers? Even the absolute best companion planting and trap cropping can sometimes fail. Mother Nature is persistent for sure. Which leads us to a big question. What exactly do we do when the bugs breach the perimeter?
That brings us to Section 3, physical defenses and clever traps. Putting up the walls. Because when natural ecosystems just aren't quite enough, it's time to put up the literal walls and set some highly specific, ingenious traps.
You generally want to err on the side of caution with physical covers. You've got your butterfly and bird netting, which has a wider mesh, under 5 millimeters. That's great for snowy or windy climates where a tight fabric might rip or just completely collapse under the weight of the snow. But for total security, you've got to look at nylon insect mesh. It creates this extremely tight seal that completely blocks out microscopic pests like aphids and root maggots. Just a quick pro tip though, be meticulously careful in putting it back on after weeding, because there is literally no worse feeling than accidentally trapping a pest inside your own fortress.
Now for some ingenious organic traps. These specific, kind of weird and wonderful tricks from the sources are absolute game changers. Snails, for instance, are nocturnal and highly destructive, right? But simply scattering the rough, oil-rich shells of cashews around the plant basin stops them dead in their tracks. Or take fruit flies. By crushing holy basil and popping it into a punctured plastic water bottle, you create this irresistible aroma that traps them by the thousands. Our sources even talked about using the latex from kapati leaves placed near tender cucumber plants to literally burn and repel invaders. Wild, right?
All right, moving on to Section 4, the homemade organic spray arsenal, bringing out the big guns. Because for those times when the physical barriers are totally compromised and the traps are full, well, we have to mix up some highly potent, completely organic chemical warfare.
You might want to grab a pen or take a screenshot here because this is the exact recipe for Subhash Palikir's Neem Astra. This is an advanced, highly effective organic foliar spray. You're crushing 5 kilos of neem leaves in 50 liters of water, mixing it with 2 kilos of cow dung and 5 liters of cow urine, and fermenting it in the shade for 24 to 48 hours, stirring it 5 or 6 times a day. It is packed with antibacterial and fungicidal properties, specifically targeted at sucker pests and caterpillars. And the most amazing part? Once you go through this fermentation and filter it, you can dilute it in 100 liters of water and store the solution for up to 6 months.
Another amazingly potent recipe from the explainer sources is the 3G spray. The 3 Gs stand for garlic, green chili, and ginger. You grind equal parts, like 200 grams each, into a paste, dilute it heavily, and add just 5 milliliters of neem oil and 5 milliliters of a non-detergent soap solution to help it stick to the leaves. Now listen closely, because this is an incredibly strong repellent. It must be sprayed only during early mornings or late evenings. If you spray this stuff during the hot midday sun, you seriously risk burning the plant's tissues.
So, pentanamid bugs, stink bugs, are notorious for quickly building immunity to standard chemical pesticides, right? They just come back stronger. But a fermented fish amino acid creates an odor barrier that completely drives them away without harming the ecosystem. It sounds a little gross, but you mix a kilo of chopped sardines with a kilo of black jaggery, seal it in an airtight container without water for 15 days, and then dilute up to 30 milliliters per liter of water to spray the entire plant body. It works wonders.
Now, for North American gardeners, Bacillus thuringiens, or BT, is a fantastic option. I know, it sounds like a harsh laboratory chemical, but it's actually a naturally occurring, completely organic soil bacteria used as a highly targeted suspension spray. It specifically attacks the digestive systems of destructive caterpillars. However, there's a catch. Because it can also affect friendly non-target butterflies, you have to spray it extremely carefully, directly onto the leaves, and only on a completely still day.
And that brings us to Section 5, fighting fungi and boosting health, invisible threats and plant vitality. Let's move to our final layer of defense. This focuses on neutralizing those microscopic fungal threats while simultaneously supercharging the overall health and vitality of your soil. Because at the end of the day, remember this, a truly healthy plant is your absolute best defense against any pest.
When aerial fungal attacks threaten your crop, applying a Bordeaux mixture all over the plant body acts as a super rapid, completely organic remedy. It's a powerful 1% aerial fungicide. By combining a kilogram of copper sulfate and a kilogram of lime in 100 liters of water, you create a solution that fundamentally alters the environment on the leaf surface. It basically makes it completely inhospitable for fungal spores to take hold.
I love this part, because organic farming is just incredibly resourceful. It turns everyday household waste into massive growth promoters and pathogen killers. These are some truly unconventional soil and health boosters. Broadcasting lime before planting kills dormant soil pathogens. Dropping a little piece of copper into fermented buttermilk creates this incredible fungicide. And get this, even 10 times diluted old coconut water, or just the water left over from washing red rice, are absolutely packed with vitamins that supercharge plant growth. Oh, and dry wood ash applied in the early morning is fantastic too.
Okay, I saved one of the most fascinating emergency tricks for last, the rice porridge trick. If you've got scaly insects turning your lime or curry plants black, you can use the viscosity of diluted, decanted rice cooking water. You cool it down and spray that thick liquid right onto the plant. As it dries, it literally blocks the photosynthesis of the scaly pests, suffocating them. And the best part? As the dried porridge flakes off over time, the dead pests peel right off the plant with it. It is so satisfying.
So, with this complete, layered, organic toolkit at your disposal, what's it going to be? Which natural defense will you deploy in your garden first? Now that you have this massive arsenal of organic strategies, ranging from those aromatic trap crops all the way to fish amino acids and rice porridge suffocation tactics, I really want to know what your first move is going to be in your own garden ecosystem. The toolkit is in your hands now. Go build your defenses, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.